Well, it's wonderful. Let's get jumping straight into it. What Adele and I love to do on a Tuesday is give an overview, keep us connected, remind us why we're here. For those who are new, welcome. And we're going to give about 35 minutes run through of something very exciting that's very close to our hearts. That's why we're here with you on a Tuesday evening, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And afterwards, we're going to do some Q&A, some questions. If you've got something specific, a challenge you're having within the organization, or with a question you have about, well, I do this, what would you recommend? And let's see how we can go. It's the time for the community and feedback as well. So that's wonderful. So I'm going to start off by introducing you to my amazing co-host, Adele Spear. She lives in Johannesburg in South Africa, and she is a pediatric occupational therapist by profession. A very, very strong community activist, and also a devoted mom to Sheldon. Now, Sheldon, I've seen on the post on Facebook, is a remarkable young man, and it's testimony to her mom without question. He is a massive hockey player, so you've got business mom, you've got hockey mom, and you've got community mom here, all in one. And when you put that in one package, you get Adele, and it really qualifies her why she's here presenting what we are going to be sharing with you this evening. So I'm going to hand you over to Adele, and I'll be chatting to you all a little bit later.
Oh, great. Thanks, Tim. Well, Tim Wagner, you're in Cape Town, I think. Tim has been working full-time online for the past 4 years. He gave up his business and his work in the hospitality industry of 27 years, and he is now full-time online. And Tim has a passion for teaching and educating people. He is currently focusing. Am I still here? You got me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Tim is focusing on coaching and assisting dads and helping them to work in the online sphere. His corporate background and his knowledge of all things online just helps him tremendously to work with Gift of Legacy. And he is an educator of note. And Tim, we are really proud to be with you tonight, and we know that you're going to share some wonderful information with us just now. So let's get straight into it, folks. Gift of Legacy is what we are here to talk to you about tonight. It's not a business, it's not a company, it's a community. And welcome to our community. We are inviting you here to enjoy the evening with us. You are here by invitation only. So please thank the person who invited you. So let's jump in and let's show you how we're going to color your world. A quick disclaimer.
Sorry.
A quick disclaimer, no problem, is that this presentation is purely for information sharing only, and it is not to be construed as financial advice. Neither Tim nor myself or any other Gift of Legacy presenter are registered financial or tax advisors. This information is only intended to give you examples of what you may expect. A quick introduction. Gift of Legacy is a gifting activity. It is supported by a unique algorithm that drives the sustainable movement of gifts between individuals globally. So there's been a bit of a paradigm shift in the past few years that is replacing traditional structures that no longer serve society. It's time for us all to thrive and not merely just survive. So we want to talk to you about gifting this evening. What is Gift of Legacy and who's it for? Well, if like me, you believe in the principle of sowing and reaping, if you believe that when you give, you shall receive, if you enjoy blessing somebody that you don't even know, and if you want to take control of your life, if you enjoy helping others succeeding in life, like Tim and I both do, then Gift of Legacy is something that you need to really consider. Let's get straight into it, Tim. Gift of Legacy is a global gifting activity. There are no limitations or borders, and we have members in over 100 countries, and it's growing. We are uplifting communities and ourselves. And that means we're not just uplifting ourselves financially, but also the self-development that Tim spoke about. That's critical to our community because you can't just be focused only on finances. It's really important that we develop ourselves as well. So we are going to talk about sacred economics. Now, this is something that not everybody is used to, a term that is not familiar to everybody. but it's actually something that has been around for centuries. And actually, sacred economics or gifting traces back to the 1960s in our modern culture. It is 100% legal, and it has been off the mainstream system for decades. In Africa, we talk about the Ubuntu culture. It means that it's communities helping one another, and that's what we're all about here this evening. We have blessed millions of people. Gift of Legacy launched on the 10th of January this year and has been able to give hope, education, and abundance globally by redistributing wealth into the hands of many. To date, more than 42 million US dollars have already been gifted amongst our GL members. And that's peer-to-peer from one person to another. That's just amazing. We are decentralized, so there's no company, no institution, no broker or trader. Gift of Legacy is simply an interactive website that manages the movement of boards in our gifting activity. So you're not paying into a central bank account. There's nobody who's going to take your details. You are going to contact somebody and send them a gift. All you need is a computer, a smartphone, and an internet connection. We use WhatsApp and Telegram most frequently to communicate, as well as emails. So it's really important that you have a smartphone and access to a stable internet connection. It is peer-to-peer, from one person to another. Gifts are sent directly to you when you are in the legend position. Tim's going to explain that to you just now. So there is no third party controlling any money. You're not paying into a central bank account. You don't even give anybody except your gifter your banking details. There are no tokens that are held on the platform, and so it's 100% risk-free. It is perpetual. Perpetual means ongoing, non-stop, and passive. It means that you can receive gifts and give gifts repeatedly, sustainably, and frequently. Over and over for generations to come. If we think of that infinity symbol, we see it everywhere in our lives, but it really means it's something that goes on and on forever. So Gift of Legacy is more than just a gifting activity. We are here to help each other grow, to succeed while supporting each other and uplifting one another. So we have lots of motivational meetings and presentations. We have education. We have so much support for people. When you join Gift of Legacy, you will gift from your heart. Tom will explain to you how. You share the love. You tell other people and you get them onto Zoom calls just like this. You guide your team or your tribe, your community. And when you become legend, you will build your legacy. We are a community with the same vision. We want to change lives. Isn't that amazing, Tim? You're going to share some more information, right?
Absolutely brilliant. It's everything you said there. When the first time I heard this on a presentation was a gifting economy over a year and a half ago. And it blew my mind because a lot of the problems that I've experienced, Adele, in over the 4 years, I've been working online businesses for 6 years, but full-time for 4 years. A lot of the issues and problems that I've experienced have all been solved within this gifting economy. So when I first saw this, I was like, wow, this is very unique and quite interesting. How come I've never seen this before? Well, I don't know. Perhaps I wasn't ready for it. But here's a couple of things before I explain how the board moves that I think is very important, because it highlighted to me. I was chatting to a young guy week before, recently, and he couldn't understand how the money worked. So I'm not going to explain it to you now, but I am going to go through quite a bit of detail about how the money moves and how you can make the type of money that we're going to be speaking about this evening. So I'm going to answer that. The other thing to be aware of is this cannot be a Ponzi or a pyramid scheme. First of all, Ponzi schemes are completely illegal, and so are pyramid schemes. But the money here goes from person to person. There's no central platform, as Adele said. So all of the traditional structures of businesses, from investing or online opportunities, or perhaps you've been invited to see something online before a presentation, or you've shared it, somebody shared something with you, and you think, it's just one of those things. Well, Ever since the whole pandemic mess of 2.5 years ago, there's been a massive boom in so-called opportunities online. And you've got to be very careful. One of the reasons why we don't promote on social media, and Adele will speak about that shortly, is because we need to stay legitimate. We want to make sure that the people who come on board with us and partner with us and become members and friends and colleagues in our community are here for the right reasons. This is about not only helping yourself, but helping your family, helping your communities, and helping everybody around you get some abundance in their lives. So there's a reason why we're still around here in this environment, because not only, A, do we know it works, it does, and we work it, it works for us, and that's B. So Adele's mentioned a couple of golden nuggets, and I'm going to highlight those key things which were critical to me she hasn't said anything at the beginning, but I haven't lost money. I've had very expensive university fees. And I would rather share my knowledge gained from my university fees in life with you than you experience them as well. So let's start. We're going to be following that yellow circle U over some what we call boards. Now there's 4 of them. $100, $400, $1,600, and $5,000. You go through 4 different positions, and I'm going to explain that when I show you the board. And you've got some numbers on the bottom there. Take note of them. Look at them yourself. I don't mention them at this point. I've been around for long enough to be promised millions in 1 week if you just do this, and it's never achievable. So I'm going to show you how everybody has an opportunity to receive that. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you. So let's get cracking. There's 2 requirements of everybody. The first is you gift $100 unconditionally to somebody that you probably will never meet and don't know. As Adele said, we're in 107 countries around the world. You could be gifting somebody anywhere. Now, when I saw that, I thought $100, this is the one and only time that you ever give anybody any money. But because it doesn't go to a platform or a person or somebody at the top of this pyramid who's making all the bucks, I figured, well, if I don't work it or it doesn't work or whatever happens around the gifting economy, I've lost nothing because I've uplifted an individual. But if it does, it's not going to be long that I'm also going to be receiving $100. So I like that. There's multiple ways that we teach you and help you to send money internationally outside of the banking system, all completely legal. So it just makes it a lot quicker and more efficient and cheaper to use airtime or PayPal, WorldRemit, Revolut, bank transfers in your own country, and for the bigger amounts, without question, cryptocurrencies. That's my key thing, is cryptocurrencies. You don't understand any of that? Perfect. Neither did I at one point, neither did Adele. We're here to teach you and help you along the way. This is what a board looks like. You'll see on the bottom, there's a left and a right hemisphere, and it's mirrored. So you've got a gifter, builder, guide, and in the middle, the legend. The legend is exactly as the name says. They're the legend. Those are the people who are going to receive the gifts. Here's how it goes. You start and you enter with $100. Remember I said there's 2 requirements. The first is an unconditional $100. One time only that you ever take money from your own pocket. No monthly fees, no membership fees, no cut percentage goes here, there, or anywhere else. That's as straightforward it is. When you are the legend, and I'll show you how you become this, you will receive $800. 100 in, 800 out. Let's have a look how it works. You as the gifter will arrive. You're going to be brought in by a friend, family, the person who invited you, called the builder, or maybe it could be another position. The examples we're using is the second position, builder. You join, and as Adele said, this website is purely interactive to introduce, oh, my power's just gone off. There we go. Power cuts. I forgot to put my lights on. Doesn't matter. You don't need to see me. You know what I look like. I'm not important. Anyway, I can see my computer. When you join, the computer system will introduce you to the legend. You'll see the legend's contact details. So let's say it's Adele. I'm joining and I'm new. I would then message Adele because I've got her cell phone number and email address from the computer system, and I will get hold of her and say, hi Adele, my name's Tim. I would love to give you gift you $100 as I'm new on your board. She'd get back to me and say, wow, Tim, thank you, amazing. It's what a privilege and lovely to meet you. You're welcome to gift me, and I see you're in South Africa as well. You can send me through the bank or cryptocurrencies or PayPal. You, as a legend, you make it easy for somebody to gift you. Why would you make it difficult? I'll then say, fantastic, let's do cryptocurrency, $100. At this point, I would like to identify that we use the dollar as the base currency. So anywhere in the world, everybody has pretty much of an idea of what their local currency is against the dollar. So if I'm sending it in rands to Adele in rands, I'll do it at the local exchange rate of the day and ensure that I, as the gifter, cover all the costs of the transfer. That way, when you're a legend, other people are going to respect you in the same way that you've respected them. What happens next? Well, on this board is an example. It doesn't have to work exactly like this. Please understand this is an overview, an example of the way that it operates. Each gifter comes in, gifting the legend $100. There's 8 positions, you'll notice. That's where the $800 comes from. This board is now complete. It's full. All of these 15 positions, I can't count, have been completed. So the board splits. When it splits, that means that the legend goes off. They're finished. You move up one level. You are now a builder. What's your role? Your role is now to do the second thing that I said. The first was $100, once off, only ever from your pocket. The second is, you see the power of this. You're going to bring in people that you want to work with who are like-minded to you, that will work the system. What is the system? What you're seeing tonight is the system. Nothing else, just this. No reinventing the wheel, no creating a system within a system because you think you could work quicker and better and smarter and more profitably. No, if that existed, we'd be showing you that. That's not the system. Follow this. What do? You invite 2 people, like-minded people, friend A and friend B join. They come in, they gift the legend exactly the way that you did. The other builder underneath brings in their friends and family, their colleagues, their people that they respect, love, who are like-minded, like-hearted. The legend receives $800. The board splits again. You now move up. It starts getting exciting for you because next round you are legend. I'm going to show you something magical what happens now, how you're going to make this go quicker. We call it fast tracking. Builder A and Builder B now bring in their 2. What's your role as a guide? Your role as the guide is to guide the 2 people you brought in to do exactly what you did. Simple, straightforward. A brings in their friends C and D. B brings in their friends E and F. Now, there's something special that happens. Let's say that your left-hand side, you've been working quicker, faster, more effectively than the right-hand side has been working on this. Everybody works at different speeds. Is there a timeline? No. You can do this. I've known this happen in a few hours. Personally, I moved up to the next level in 4 days. It depends on what you put in, you get out. Back to the example, let's say that you work effectively. You've brought in yours, they're prepared, they've brought in their people, off you go. You can now split. As that hemisphere, your left-hand hemisphere, doesn't have to wait for the people on the right to catch up. You will then go onto your own board as a legend in your own right. And you'll now have noticed your A and B are now on either side of you as your guides. A's friends, C and D, are their builders, and B's friends, E and F, are their builders. What happens next? Well, you're going to motivate and encourage everybody to follow the system you have. Why? Because every time the builders bring in one of their guests, one of their gifters, you receive $100. How does it get easier than this? What happens now? This board is full. And this is why it's not a pyramid scheme, because you're at the top. Where do you go now? Back to the bottom. 2 things happen. The second thing is actually, I'm going to come back to the first. The second thing is, let's go back to that board that wasn't complete. The left-hand side, you're done. That's why it's grayed out there. The right-hand side isn't finished. Now, you want to get perpetual income, what Adele spoke about, ongoing, over and over. So you're going to have a perpetual position where you are now going to gift the legend that's on that board $100 to go back onto a $100 board and help that board that's perhaps going a little bit slower. This is where gift of legacy becomes very different to any other gifting economy that I've ever come across, well, that I've come across in the last 1.5 years. And there's been a few, that I can promise you. What happens? The first thing that happens is that you are going to get access and be placed on the $400 board. That's the next one, silver. Where do you get that $400 from? You were gifted it. The magical thing is you can do this when you get your first $400. That's called fast tracking. More on that later. The $100 is what you've put on your perpetual position, as I've shown you just now, to get back on that board. Now, maybe that board is completed. You'll go on to another one. That's not a problem. Leaving you with $300 in your pocket. So this isn't a business, but if you treat it like a business, and I'm a businessman, $100 in, I've received $800 income. My expenses have been $500. I'm left with $300. $200 is therefore my profit from a business perspective. Now, this isn't a business, it's gifting economy. but we're dealing with money, so let's respect it. That's a 200% return. When I saw this, I didn't need to see anything else. I said, I'm in. That's it. I'm fine. Because if I can do $300, I can follow the same system and help other people to do it. I can make 3,000. If I can do 3,000, I can do 30,000. Let's have a look. What happens on the perpetual cycle? You see, you're already on that $400 board. You can only be on one board at a time, which means the next time you've gone through that cycle on the $100 board, you're not gifting 400 on to get onto the next board. You're already on it. So you're keeping 700. It only cost you 100 to get in. You've received 200 as a profit, so to say. You're now getting 700 every single time. Wow, over and over. It doesn't stop. We don't have recessions here. The world has a recession when people stop spending money. The government scares you. They put up interest rates. You don't have enough money. That's what's going on in the world's economy at the moment. So what do? You stop spending. Now, when you stop spending money, you create a recession. How do you avoid a recession? We don't have that in here. Our economy keeps ticking over because you're following the system, so the flow of money continues. Here's the magic on a $400 board. I'm going fast now, lots to cover. $400, 3,200 is what you get out. That's 8 gifts of 400. It works in exactly the same way. This time you're holding back from that $400, $1,600 to get yourself onto the next board. This is where the numbers start looking really exciting. And $400 is a perpetual position to go back onto another $400 board so you can get that ongoing income. Do the work once, continue to be gifted ongoing. And how does it get better than this? When you keep $1,200 in your pocket. This starts making a difference in your life. I hope you're jotting down some questions because you want to know how you can get this. I can promise you that. Let's keep going because now the numbers start to turn really interesting. And the same process, the same cycle works with a perpetual position because you're on the third board already. You're only putting $400 back on to get a new position onto another $400 board. So this time you're keeping $2,800 in your pocket over and over again. I'm often asked questions. One of them comes up is, how quickly can I receive it? My board's not moving. It's slowed down. Why aren't I moving up on here? Right. The only way you can influence the speed is by helping people on the $100 boards. Do you only introduce 2? No. Multiple more. 2 is a minimum. I will explain more just now. The speed is by helping the 2, bring 2, bring 2, bring 2. Then this can move quite fast. It's entirely depending on what you put in. $1,600 board, $12,800, which is 8 gifts of $1,600 is what you receive. So what the money looks like. Take a deep breath. The first time I gifted $5,000 to somebody else, I actually knew who they were. So it made it even more amazing and magical. It just felt... It's a different feeling. Receiving gifts is like, wow, it's a kick. You get this adrenaline rush. To give $5,000 in South Africa, it's 80,000 Rand. That's over 4.5, 5 times the national average monthly income of anybody. To give away as a gift. It's powerful. You want to put yourself in that position. And then $1,600 to get back onto the perpetual board. Giving you insomnia. We call it gift of legacy insomnia because now you're lying awake at night looking and thinking, how do I spend my $6,200? Remember I asked you to write down questions. Get that piece of paper, have a look at the question, get your pen, cross them out, put a line through them. They're irrelevant. And here's why. There's only one question. The question that you want to ask the person who invited you is, what do I need to do in the next 3 to 4 months to receive $6,200 additional in my pocket so that my Christmas this year can be magical? Let me repeat that. You go back to the person you ask. This is the only question. Ignore every other question. It's immaterial. You learn the answers as you're going along the journey. What do I need to do today to get $6,200 in my pocket additional by Christmas this year? There's only one person, one reason, and one way that you're not going to do it. Because you don't follow the system. You're not following and you're not involved. Let's be honest, let's be straight. That's the way it is. How's these numbers? $11,200 ongoing income. Let's cut to the chase here. We're getting really excited. There's a lot going because now we're on $40,000. Remember I said to you at the beginning I wasn't going to speak about these big numbers because I want you to see it, that everybody has an opportunity by just following the system and helping others do the system. Ongoing income, $35,000 on perpetual boards. It stays at 35. because there are no further boards. There's only 4. This is the 4th one, and you're putting $5,000 back in to gift another legend. $35,000 ongoing over and over. Let's skip these quickly. We get the idea. It is a huge amount of money. That's the picture. Take a screenshot. I'm going to stop you there. Take it. Take a screenshot, print it. Stick it on your fridge. Tomorrow morning when you wake up and you open the fridge to get the milk out because you want to make your coffee, have a look at it. You decide. You think, do I like my future? What if I could follow a system to get this? How would my life be different? That's your reason. That's the most critical thing here. Why would you do this? Is it easy? No. Should it be easy? Yes, but we deal with people, so not everybody does it. That's fine. But you get paid a salary and you have to turn up for 35, 40, 50 hours a week. Who knows? But your boss is not going to make you get additional income so you can live a better life. Not with these inflation rates. Here's the summary. There's the numbers. Read it. Big numbers, but that's actually understated. It's wrong. It's very difficult to calculate because the boards move at different speeds all the time. So who knows what the number is? But if that's a minimum, I'll take the minimum. I'm quite happy with that. So that is the in-depth overview. You're going to want to watch this again. I did not get it all straight away. I just knew that if I followed a set system, a predictable one, I didn't need to go swimming for it. I didn't need to go underwater in a submarine. I didn't need to catch a bus anywhere. I didn't need to jump in a car. I just needed to follow the system as I was being taught. We've got a structure, we've got the training, we've got the education to help you maximize this. It's all up to you. I'm going to hand you back over to my amazing co-host.
Oh, wow, Tim. Yeah, you're quite right. The only vehicle we need is those Ferris wheels. We talk about riding the boards of abundance. And the only thing you need is a Ferris wheel. There's 4 Ferris wheels, the 4 boards. And boy, it's quite a ride. You don't need any other vehicles. So on your first cycle, you'll gift $100 to the legend on the board that you are registering on. You invite 2 like-minded, like-hearted people to journey with you, and you help them to do the same. It's a simple principle of 2 by 2 by 2. And then on your perpetual journey, once you have completed your first cycle, you're auto-joined to enter your higher board. Once you've been confirmed as a gifter, you are then auto-joined onto a board of the same value. So if you've moved on from your bronze, you will automatically join silver. Once you have gifted and been confirmed there, you are then auto-joined onto your perpetual cycle, onto another bronze board, and there you will continue on your Ferris wheel ride. You will gift the legend within 24 hours of joining a board, and it is really important to know that the perpetual positions ensures the integrity and sustainability of GL. If you do not have your 2 invitees that are confirmed gifters, you are not able to progress onto the silver or onto your bronze perpetual cycle. So you need to find your 2 people. Right, let's carry on there, Tim. So why gift of legacy? Well, why not? I'm going to go through all the reasons, but folks, really, why not? We have a user-friendly system, a website that is so easy to navigate. We have got a fail-safe system with board splitting, as Tim explained to you. The numbers of only needing 4 gifters on one board to split is incredible. You can move quickly. We have got an algorithm. Don't worry about the algorithm. That is the computer code. That's what the developers worry about. That's what keeps our website going. We have cross-pollination, which means you're going to meet people from across the world in our global community. It's wonderful, it's exciting, and that's what community is all about. You are not limited to just 2 invitees. Every profile needs a minimum of 2 invitees in order for you to progress. But if you're like me, and Tim's already gone on to platinum, I am 4 gifts away from going on to platinum, and I'm really excited to get there. I tell everybody about Gift of Legacy. I can't help myself. We have an incredible support team. We have people who are volunteers who help you with any questions that you have. But before you call them, have a look on the Telegram groups for our link tree or our A to Z document. It's got all the information that you need to know. And then we have fast tracking and board splitting, which ensures that if you are able to and want to move quickly, you can do so. So let's talk about fast tracking. This is how you color your world faster. So once you are on your bronze board, you have got your 2 confirmed invitees. If you have extra cash, you are able to progress onto the $400 board. You don't need any more invitees. You gift your legend, you wait an hour, and then you can join onto your gold, The same thing, gift the legend, wait an hour, and if you've got 5,000 Rand spare in your back pocket, you can join that platinum board and you can really color your world very quickly and be on all 4 Ferris wheels at the same time. It's really important, as Tim mentioned earlier, that we don't promote Gift of Legacy on social media. Because social media actually is quite corrupt. We don't want people who aren't like-minded and like-hearted to join our community. It is a sacred community and it's really here about uplifting people. So please don't promote on social media. There's no cross-recruiting, which means don't come and fish in our waters. Don't come and introduce people in our community to your platforms. You can go and do that on your own time, your own space. And Gift of Legacy is purely for our community. We don't introduce space fillers, which means we want people in our community who are going to follow the simple guidelines. All you need to do is invite 2 people and teach them to do the same. You don't need to be the message, just the messenger. Invite people to Zoom calls. Let people like Tim and I and all of our other presenters, people who've experienced the system and who understand what's going on, let us do the explaining for you. That's why we're going to open up for Q&A in a few moments' time. You need to attend presentations and watch recordings. Now we're global, we know not everyone can watch, and that's why we've got a YouTube channel. Everything is categorized. Everything is there to watch at your leisure, and YouTube uses less data as well. So we've got answers to all of your excuses. There's extensive training available, and that just helps you to know what's going on. Regan, one of our presenters, always says, trained always beats untrained. You can't be involved in any community without knowing the guidelines or how these people work together. So just understand and join with us in the trainings. You will participate in your own rescue. It's important to understand that there are no guarantees. The success or failure of you in Gift of Legacy is totally dependent on you following the guidelines and how you participate. It is important that everybody is in compliance with the tax laws in their own country. Please investigate that and find out what is necessary. Gift of Legacy operates without any third-party affiliation, ownership, or partnership. The only thing you need to do to join Gift of Legacy is $100 and 2 like-hearted, like-minded people. If you're joining Gift of Legacy via any third party or a package or anyone offering you discounts, you do so at your own risk. It's not something we prescribe, and it's not within the guidelines of Gift of Legacy. Gift of Legacy is 100% peer-to-peer, and no funds ever get paid to any platform. Gifts are always sent to participants. The legends are the ones who receive the gifts from their gifters. And then we have the love heart position. Tim, do you want to talk about love heart?
Yeah, this is a massive important one. There's 2 important things on this slide actually, Adele. So thank you for this. As soon as you are a confirmed gifter, so you have brought in 2 people, you've gifted to the legend, you're able to then assist any charity, welfare organization, basically anybody who doesn't have the funds or doesn't have the ability to bring in their 2 people, where you can then sponsor. So you would gift the legend $200, and you would then bring them through. So what happens is you'll go onto GGM Movement, Love Heart. So on the actual platform, once you're registered, there's a simple button you click, and that brings you up to a form. You fill it in, it gets sent through to the committee. They will verify to ensure that this is suitable, and then that position will be given. Now, the great thing about it is that you would gift the $100 to the legend as normal. However, you don't have to then find 2 invitees, as the 2 invitees will be brought in by other Love Heart positions. This way, we can actually give back to communities. We can give back to those more in need who aren't able to do this. This will not form as part of your lineage, as it forms under the Love Heart. The second one is then the GG Movement. Now, GG Movement, Gracious Givers Movement, is the organization that oversees Gift of Legacy. Fully self-funded. So as you're getting gifts and multiples of gifts, you're getting 400, 1,600, 5,000, donate through to GGM Movement in order to keep the system being programmed. It costs a lot of money to keep things running, and then it's just going to be here forever. And that opportunity to donate can also be done from the platform. There's a button you click.
That's right, Tim. And then we have Zoom calls just like this every Tuesday and Thursday evening. where you can invite your guests and they can engage. Sometimes we have questions and answers. Sometimes we elaborate a bit more. Mondays is all about motivation. We had a great one last night. Wednesday evenings is where we have more orientation and training. And Friday nights is always exciting because that's where all new changes are rolled out, any developments or new features. And Gift of Legacy is constantly evolving. So stay tuned in because there's always exciting things happening on a Friday night call. And then we have Zoom calls in different languages around the world. Connect with people in your community and find a language and a presentation that suits you. And then we have Telegram groups. We have 3 official Telegram groups, the official community group and the info only group. And then we have the Gift of Legacy testimonials. And those groups are open periodically by the admin when and if they are able to open and manage the groups. But this is where community members can come and just tell their stories, unscripted, right from the heart. And it's where you can really see the heartbeat of Gift of Legacy. It's the most important group to follow because that's where you see how lives are being changed and how we color the world. So we just want to thank you, Tim. Thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. You make me so excited. I want to go and register again, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just keep working 2 by 2 on my boards because that's the right way to do it, right?
100%. That's it, definitely. So on here, you can see the comments here. Training beats untrained. From my personal experience, not only within the gifting economy, but any business, it doesn't matter whether it was in the hospitality or clubs or restaurants or bars, whatever business industry you're in, do the staff members or do you benefit more from the organization you're working with, your own business, if you're skilled or unskilled? Why would it be any different here? This is why we have the ongoing Zooms, the ongoing training, the facilities for you to learn more. The people that move up, who progress, who receive gifts, who grow, are the ones who are attending the training. It's as simple as that. We can identify if anybody says they're not moving on. I ask them, have you been onto a Zoom? No, I haven't. Have you listened to the training? Have you seen the new A to Z document that the leadership put together for us? Have you seen? No, I haven't. That's why you're not growing. Remain connected. Keep in the loop. Subscribe to the channels. It's free. That's what, maybe, Adele, maybe we need to start charging people for this and they'll respect it a bit more. What do you think? Should we present that?
No, not at all. We're not charging people for that.
No, we don't. It's oops, I'm trying to get off this presentation here. The reality is that often if people receive too many things for free, they don't see a value in it.
Yeah.
So I understand that there's a lot of value in that information. In fact, some of the training that Petra, is one of our community members, does, that she's given for free to everybody. She charges tens of thousands of rands to do this within corporate. And we've got access to this for free, for nada. Don't underestimate because it's free that is not valuable. So I'm going to say thank you very much for what you're doing in the community, Adele. Adele forms a strong support role, and she's one of the people behind the scenes there who's answering all the questions and what have you. So you mentioned, Adele, before we go to Q&A, and anybody can please put your hand up or put a comment in the chat box, and we'll come to it. If you do put your hand up, and please limit yourself to one question so that we can ensure everybody has a chance if there's more. Otherwise, put it in the chat box. But Adele, let me ask you a question here. And I often ask this. We've got these amazing documents, this A to Z that they put together, the Academy, which is online, that link tree, which has got, I've been through it, man alive. You could take any of that information and plug it into any business and it's applicable. When you're dealing with support questions, what percentage of the questions do you get? Can the participant or the member answer themselves by going through the online academy?
99.9.
Wow. So you're actually not needed. We don't actually need a support team.
No, that A to Z document is so thorough. I had the opportunity of helping to just proofread it.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
I've been looking at it since it's gone out, and it is so thorough. The link tree is so easy to use. If you have sent the short 2-minute video and the 7-minute video, and Tim, your remarkable 22-minute video to people, and they're interested, just send the link tree, because the A to Z document is on there, all the presentations, the doodlies, everything you need. All you need to do is send the link tree. And the amazing thing about that link tree is it is constantly being updated. So we don't have to send you new links. It's a dynamic document. So as it gets changed and updated, you don't even know it's being changed and updated and edited. So as we add things to it, it's right there. So it is 100% up to date all the time. Just send it. The link is never going to change. That's what's amazing. I love it.
Brilliant stuff. Oh, well done. Thank you for your commitment. I mean, guys, understand that this took weeks, if not months, to put together, and no one gets paid for doing it.
No
one
not
gets
a
paid
cent.
for doing it. This
Not
is
a
all back
cent.
to the community. So respect that. And I'm looking at the chats. We've got Petra in the house. I didn't even know she was in the house with us tonight. What a privilege. Fantastic. Thank you so much there.
Petra, don't you want to say hi?
Where's Petra? Just keep it quiet in the background. That's not fair.
No, she's got to say hi. Come on, Petra. We
While
love
Petra
you.
decides to say hi, Glenn, you put a question, where can I get the list of the invitees per profile? Not quite understanding the question. Do you want to unmute yourself or type a little bit more what you're meeting? List of the invitees per profile. What's a profile?
I
Let's
think
explain
he's
that a little
talking
bit
about
more.
the tree. I think Glenn is talking about, who are your people, your tree, your lineage. That is not currently available on your profile. The only way for you to know who is linked to you is to keep record of that yourself. But there is nowhere on your profile where you can see your lineage currently. But if everybody is building 2 by 2 by 2, your boards should be filled up with your lineage. Yes, we do split off, and we will always come back. We always follow our inviter, but there is currently no way that you can see. It's nice to have, and GGM pay for lots of upgrades and developments, and it's on the nice to have list. But right now there are priorities: the security, the integrity, and the sustainability of Gift of Legacy always comes first. So we get lots of requests for these kinds of things. They're not priority number one. Priority number one is for everybody to invite 2 by 2 by 2 to get those boards moving.
So a suggestion, thanks for that answer. And a suggestion would be then, as you're creating your own lineage, and if you don't know what a lineage is, that's when you put your 2 in and they bring their 2 and 2 and 2. That's called a lineage, a line. They all follow you through. That's how you move up quickly. Is create your own WhatsApp group or Telegram group. And everybody new that comes in from your team, they can add them in there. Then you can actually keep track of it that way. That would be a suggestion. But the reality is, we're part of an international community. You just march on forward. And if you do your bit, then off we go. So Elodie asks a question here. Our board has had no legend now for nearly 2 weeks, and the gifters are getting very concerned, have logged a ticket. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I can answer that because I'm very well aware of that situation, Elodie. The developers and leaders are aware of where there are absent legends. So that's happened where people have quit Gift of Legacy by pressing the quit button. Trickle up does not affect the legend position. Those positions are currently being resolved, and I can assure you that in the next few days, those legend positions will be filled. They are going to be taken over by GGM, but everything is done with integrity and things have to be handled very carefully. So we are aware of that board, and we are aware of some others, but please know that the principle of Ahana, nobody gets left behind, is one of the core principles of Gift of Legacy, and nobody is going to get left behind. Those legend spots will be filled, and everything will be dealt with. So hang in there, we are aware of it.
And if you don't understand the question, that's perfectly fine. It means it doesn't apply to you, so don't worry about it. But on behalf of Cyril Ramaphosa and Eskom, who's our electricity power supplier, they apologize for the delays because you've got to understand very few people are allowed to make these decisions. And when we're dealing with the fact that some people have only got power for literally 4 hours a day for working hours, it's become extremely difficult for them to get to all the work. So we're dealing with these external things. Yeah. We've got another question here. When does Trickle Up kick in? And reason is that I have an invitee that wants to sign up, a second invitee. Great, well done. And should they wait until Trickle Up happens on their board? Because there is 2 unresponsive builders. So I'm going to answer the first bit, and then Adele, you can fill in the gap. Is that right? The first thing is, never wait. If you delay and wait, the person that you're going to be bringing in may get bored with waiting and go somewhere else. Keep the energy up. Never delay, bring them in. Further to that, the Trickle Up. Let me hand over to the expert.
Okay, so Trickle Up is in effect. Trickle Up was launched on the 24th or 26th of August, round back then on a Friday night. And Trickle Up is in effect. People who have not logged into their account from that date, if they're not logged in for 14 days, they got a message. Then they will get an email message, then they will get another email 7 days later, which then takes you to 21 days, and then they'll get another email 48 hours before their profile is automatically removed and deleted from the Gift of Legacy system. And then they are removed and Trickle Up happens and positions move up. I can tell you that on some of my boards, in fact, 2 of my boards, one that is my son's board and one that I manage, and one that is my board, we have had people quit Gift of Legacy and Trickle Up happened immediately. But what you need to know is that you are not going to see any changes on your board if you are not logging out and logging in. Tim, the problem we're having is lots of people stay logged in continuously to the Gift of Legacy profile.
So it doesn't refresh.
Now, this is a huge problem. You're not going to stay logged in to your online banking. It's a security risk. So I'm begging you all, please log out. Once you've done what you need to do, log out. Because if you are not logging out, you do not refresh. And you will not see changes. So you will not see changes on your board. You will not see Trickle Up. And your login is not going to be captured by the timer that is checking these things on the system. And then you're going to get emails. So some people are saying, but I'm checking my board daily. Why am I getting emails? Because you're not logging out.
Yes.
Log out and log in. This is a security risk. If you drop your phone and your profile is open and somebody picks it up, you've lost everything. I'm not repeating that. I log out. Please log out.
Very important security point that I think a lot of people would miss on that. Yeah.
And that's why people are not being captured as logging in, simply because you're not logging out.
As with everything new that comes, as soon as you have a change, you're going to have a few hiccups and questions and odd things at the beginning until it becomes the new norm. And once it's become the new norm, it's just going to be accepted. So understand every time something new, and there's been dramatic amounts of improvements and upgrades that we've had recently, these are going to take a while. And everybody new comes in, this is their norm. We don't need to speak about it. So we got another question. Makhozi, very good question. Thank you for putting it in. A lot of people are often too scared to ask this question, but perhaps you're not going to like my answer. Here's why. So the question is, I have a challenge. I share with my people. I follow up with them. I don't get responses. I share the testimony. Otherwise, I don't get responses. They don't go onto the Zooms. I once held a presentation in my house. Well done for setting that up. Congratulations. I'll tell you a story quickly about presentations in your house. And no one turned up. I went to my local councillor and no success. The first thing is to understand, Mkhozi, well done. Really. The fact that there's one key thing that everybody needs to succeed, and that's called persistence. The only time you're ever going to fail is when you quit. Your story, once you're getting your people and you've got momentum, your story is going to motivate others who are going to fall in exactly the same position as you. Have you, Mkhozi, don't answer. You answer in your head. You don't have to answer out loud. Have you gone onto the A to Z document? Have you watched the videos? Have you gone onto the training? Have you watched Chris's AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action, of how to help you? Here's one thing I always say to people when they say, I'm speaking to so many people. There was one lady a couple of weeks ago said, I spoke to 600 people. I only got 4. I said, that's amazing. In 2 years' time, you are going to be the wealthiest person in Gift of Legacy. Unless you're doing something, I don't know, you're speaking Russian to somebody from China. But really, your momentum, your excitement, enthusiasm, however, maybe by the time you've got to number 500, you're going to go, I must change my strategy, my approach. How do they train us in doing this? Go back to the training documents. Here's a quick story for you. I used to build a network marketing company many, many years ago. Started 15 years ago. Won't mention the name of it. I was awful at it. But what we needed to do, this was before we had Zooms and internet and Wi-Fi's and cell phones and all those right things. We'd have what's called home meetings. And I would have a home meeting every single week. I was excited. I was passionate. I was learning. I was being mentored. I was being coached. I was in it. I loved the products. I still use the products 15 years later. I would hold meeting after meeting after meeting. Do you know who turned up? Often my wife didn't even turn up. That's how empty the room was. But you know what? I didn't stop because I had a dream. I had a vision. I saw something and I said, if they don't see it, it's their loss. I'm just going to keep looking till I find the other one of me. Because if you exist and these other 46 people on this call exist, you will find too.
Yeah.
Do not stop. Ever.
And just keep talking to people. You know, we talk about being a magnet. Draw people to you, but also listen to people. I'll give you an example. I went on Friday afternoon with my son. He's in matric. We're looking for matric outfits. And we were in a shop. We found one, surprisingly. And while he was busy getting tailored and sorted out, the lady said to me, are you working? I was like, wow, what a question.
Open my door.
I'm working. I'm an occupational therapist. I work with kids. She said, wow. I said, yeah, I also, and now I've got 3 staff members around me. I said, yeah, I also earn US dollars. She said, how do you do that? I said, on my phone. She said, what app? I said, let me send you a video. That's all. I don't even know if she's on the call tonight because I invited her.
I love it.
Gotta listen. The opportunities are there and we don't always listen to it. Yes, you've got to be bold, and I'm probably very bold about Gift of Legacy. That's because I have that insomnia, because I am on a gold board, but I've worked to be there, and I will keep talking to people. That's what we got to do. Okay, another question here from George. Why do we still get emails to say that our profiles will be deleted when we do log in on a weekly basis? I do log out and in. Okay, I'm going to tell you what the answer is from the developers, from support, and we have found this to be 100% correct. There are many, many people in Gift of Legacy who have multiple profiles. And when they registered those multiple profiles, every profile needs a unique email. Many people cottoned onto the Gmail trick that you have, let's just say my email is Adele@gmail.com. And then for my next profile, I do Adele+1@gmail.com. My second one, Adele+2+3+4. We have got people up to +100 something at gmail.com. There is no way that you can be checking those all correctly. Human error happens. So if you are getting emails and you're logging in and out, this is the answer from the developer. It's a picnic problem. The problem is not in the computer. The problem is in the chair. The problem in chair, not in computer. We call it a picnic problem. You are not checking all your profiles.
And you're not going on the chat.
You're not going on the chat.
Go on the chat.
You don't have to go on the chat, but you have to log in. And if you've got multiple profiles using the 1, 2, 3 system, go and check, because it's probably a picnic problem. Problem
And
is you.
when you check, go on the chat. Why do you want to go on the chat? It's your community.
Chat.
Chat. That's what we do. We're a community. Talk. Have that interaction. Tick, 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 tick. I love the little bell. I log in and see the bell. Oh, somebody's spoken. Tick. I want to see what they say. When you get a message on your phone, do you ignore it? No, we're addicted. It goes ping. You can look at it straight away. Just remember, you must pull over when you're driving. Don't look at your phone and drive. It's a bad habit. All right, so we got George. If you're continuing to have issues, please just log a ticket, because you never know. We work on computers and stuff. 0.1% of the time, stuff does happen, and that's why we will have a support base, and that's what Adele's there for. So if it can't be answered in the A to Z, just log that ticket, and I'm sure they'll get to you. All right. My invitees, Makhosi, keep going, man. We're going to hear your story one day, maybe in a month, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. Who knows how long? The reality is, if it takes you 12 months to get $35,000, that's a hell of a lot quicker than trying to wait 12 months with your boss to give you $35,000.
You know what's coming up, Tim? Makhosi, find out about rendezvous in your area. We are hosting monthly rendezvous. We had such an awesome time 2 weeks ago. Our community is still vibing from it. And we're going to be doing another one in October. So please, when we put out the posts about rendezvous, find one close to you. There is nothing better than that Ubuntu of meeting a person, talking to them face to face, seeing their reactions, dancing with them, eating with them, and being with them. That is community. This is a Zoom, but community is being in their presence. Tim, you agree?
Oh, without question, we need these. It's if I'm taking somebody with me to a rendezvous and they don't know what GL is, I don't explain anything to them. I want them to feel it. Feel the energy by just meeting the other people. They don't have to know what it's about. Because remember, when somebody joins Gift of Legacy, they don't. The person, when they first sign up and they go online, they put in their basic information, they're gifted, they do not join Gift of Legacy. They join you. They don't understand Gift of Legacy. I'm still learning about it. They join you. Build that relationship with them. Get them to meet the other people. Get them to meet some of the people who've been around a lot longer. Yes, they can see the presentation. They need to know what it's about. But in the end, they will turn around, just as I turned around to Chris when I very first saw Gifting Community Economy. And I said, Chris, I don't get it, but I mean, you see, I know and I respect him for a long time. I knew the numbers and I thought I liked the numbers, but I know Chris, and Chris is not going to play around with me. They'll join you. I joined Chris. I did not join the gifting economy. Always remember that. Have a look at you, and if you're speaking to someone, go back to the person who invited you and offer some mentorship and coaching. We all need mentors. Treat this as a business. It's not a business, but guys, it's money.
Tim, it's not a business, but it's a busyness.
Yes, get busy in it.
It's what you do.
So those rendezvous.
It's part of my lifestyle now. It's not something I do. I do joke with my clients and I talk about my night shift, and then I already have their attention. But it's my busyness. It's what I do.
It's part of your life.
That's what you need to do. It's got to be inside your heart, right?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of training there to
wrap
help.
us up, Tim. You've got a minute.
A minute to wrap us up. Right. Get to those rendezvous. They're brilliant. That's where you meet people. That's where you stay connected. One of the biggest, most important things for anybody is to remain connected. Why do you think we're here 5 nights a week? Why do we do rendezvous? To remain connected. That's how you keep belief. If you are a believer, you go to church or the mosque or synagogue, whatever. How often do you go? Do you go once a year? If you do, what happens in between? You lose belief. Why are we here all the time? To maintain belief so that you can keep connected. You stay connected with the community. You learn something new. You feel excited. You feel amped up. Thank you all very much for all the information, the questions you got coming, Adele. Always a privilege. Let's wrap this up for a wonderful Tuesday evening.
Tim, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Gift of Legacy will color your world. All you've got to do is stay connected. Stay with us, be active. We're a gifting activity, so be active.
100%. We're still in winter in South Africa. Well, it's cold in Cape Town, so I'm going to say stay warm, stay healthy, and let's get wealthy. Good night.
Good night, everybody.